Oh boy, UFC 281 Fight Week. Cannot wait. What are we going to talk about in this video? Let's see. UFC 276, the Jared Cannonier fight, and Alex Pereira's last fight against Sean Strickland. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about the mindset of both of these guys coming in, because I think this is actually interesting. Lastly, I don't want to be the one to say this, but I think that this fight's going to be a little bit more boring than people think. Oh, and Izzy might use some grappling. Think about this one thing. This fight this week is super unique. You know how last month the Moxer versus Oliveira fight, it was two guys on massive win streaks coming in? This fight, it's two guys fighting who had previously fought in a different sport, in a different organization, and the challenger beat the current established UFC champion twice in that said different organization and sport. When's the next time we're going to see this scenario? Think about it. Like, when is the last time that this scenario has happened to UFC before? Before I get into this video and I explain to you why I think Alex Pereira might be in trouble, like the video if you like it and subscribe for more content similar to this. But let's get right into a couple months back. Let's go a couple months back here. Who are their last two fights? So you had the Jared Cannonier fight, which a lot of people were disappointed about, and then the Strickland fight. I've already made a video of the Sean Strickland fight, so I don't need to talk too much into detail about it. Like I said, that was one of the worst game plans I've ever seen executed in any fight in my life. I've been watching for a long time too, by the way, MMA. And for someone to walk up to an extremely high-level kickboxer in a 20th century, early 1900s boxing stance where you hold your two hands up like this and just march forward. Yeah, I mean, what do you really think is going to happen?
What the hell is even that?
Here's what's crazy though. I think one of the effects that's happening is that was a very nice KO. But if anybody in the middleweight division just walks up to Alex Pereira like that with a low guard, zero head movement, no footwork, yeah, he's going to KO pretty much everybody in the UFC middleweight division if you do that to him. So I think that people are looking at that and maybe not overrating Alex, but I promise you it's not going to be that simple against Izzy. Sorry to break this to you. Izzy is not going to walk up to Alex with a 20th century boxing stance, zero head movement, zero footwork. Now, to be fair though, Izzy's last performance, while Alex's was great with those caveats I just threw in, Izzy's performance was okay. I know a lot of people had critiques about it, and we're going to talk about this now when it comes to their mindset going in. Izzy had clearly talked about how he wanted to make easy work out of Cannonier and how he wanted to, silence some of the doubters maybe for the Vettori and the second Whittaker fight. And he also did the entire Undertaker walk-in. And then after the fight, if you remember, Izzy had talked about how he was happy with his performance after UFC 276 and he didn't really take his foot off the gas too much. Now, I did defend Izzy for some of the stuff for his fight against Cannonier, but I can also understand with everything going on and him hyping everything up and the Undertaker walk-in and everything, why people felt a bit disappointed, when you take the fight into account as well. After the heavily criticized win, and talk about how it's the expectations he puts on himself. So it's interesting because on one hand, he said he was happy with it, but now he talks about how in reality he was actually crying. Now, could be a bit of both. It's hard to say. It could be a mixture. Maybe he was just saying to the public he was happy, but in reality he was really upset, and now he's opening up. Or it's possible he's just trying to hype people up and he was okay with his performance. Tough to say. And then of course you have Alex, who's super confident coming in because he's had those two wins over Izzy in kickboxing, which is Izzy's bread and butter. Plus he's coming off that really nice win in front of a lot of people against Sean Strickland. Again, that Sean Strickland fight, worst game plan I've ever seen, but it does build up your confidence. So you have two different mindsets going into the fight. Is Izzy going to want to prove himself for real this time? Was he actually crying after that fight? How much added pressure is it to prove himself, plus prove himself against the guy that he's lost against twice? And then Alex, is he coming in a little bit too overconfident? Because we've seen his trash talk as well, where he's trashing Izzy. Is he going to come in a little bit too overconfident? Now we get to the last point. And now this is the point that I hope I'm wrong about. And I hope that on Sunday morning, people comment on this video and say that, you were totally fucking wrong. You have no idea what you're talking about. I hope so. And that last point being is that I think that this fight is going to be a little bit more boring while I touch my mic than people think. Here's a really simple breakdown that you could do for a casual. Izzy typically excels in counter-striking or when people move forward towards him, as he shows in the Paulo Costa fight and the Whitaker fight and in some of his other fights. If he has to be the one aggressing and the other person isn't, he typically isn't going to do it. Whereas Alex, he might come in for this fight, which is why people are excited that it's going to be Alex pushing forward, Izzy counter-striking. Very simple breakdown that you could explain to anybody. But here's the kicker. Number one, I don't think Alex is going to aggress as much as people think. Okay? I think that Alex is going to be a little bit more hesitant. The octagon size, the glove size, it being an MMA fight, I think it's not as simple of a striking match as he is gonna think it's gonna be. And so I don't think he's gonna aggress as much as people think he's going to aggress. And then if Izzy doesn't play into Alex's games, what happens? We have a fight where two fighters are standing in front of each other, not really pushing the pace because they're afraid that they might get hit with a punch that might knock them out. Now, this is where the real kicker comes in. I think that Izzy's actually going to use his grappling a lot more in this fight than we think, okay? People are going to be disappointed. People, this is mixed martial arts. I know everybody's expecting a grappling match. Izzy is going to grapple in this fight. Mark my words. Do I think he's going to shoot for like a double leg or a single leg and trip him? I'm not really sure about that, but do I think that he's going to clinch him against the cage and try to do trips and takedowns from the cage? Yeah. And what is Alex going to do off his back? Is he going to submit Izzy? Very doubtful. Is he going to sweep him and get off easily? We'll see about that, but I'm very confident that the amount of time Izzy's been training, he has been grappling training. Izzy's takedown defense is very good. He obviously focused on grappling, and I think that he was probably focused on grappling a lot for this fight. The grappling plus the differences in the cage, which the glove size, the octagon size, everything, facing off against Izzy, high pressure, is going to result in Alex not pressuring that much. This will result in a less than exciting matchup that we expect. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll go in. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're going to get into a super technical striking match and one of them knocks the other one out. But I think it's not going to be that simple. So like the video if you like this breakdown and my thoughts, and subscribe for more content similar to this. Catch you guys later. Peace.